official. If I don't come up with $2,700 by tomorrow morning, I'm getting evicted. I just talked to the leasing office and explained my situation. She said there's nothing I can do. I don't want to compound your situation, but there's nothing I can do. I told her I've called and done everything that I can. And now I just have to pray for a miracle, I guess. That's what I'm gonna do. I feel like such a fucking loser of this one paycheck. One. She said there's nothing we can do. You're too behind. If it was a little bit of a balance, I could work with you, but I can't work with this. Oh my God.
How much of a balance?
I'm gonna lose my house. I'm so sorry. To everyone for letting you down. You really tried. Well, it's.
Let me tell you why I'm getting evicted and tell me if I'm tripping. Also, lawyers, please stay so you can give me some legal advice. So this is the tea. I just moved to my apartment in June. It's August. I'm living my best life, having a good old day. I decide to check my email. In the email, it says evacuate.
Yeah, that's the problem right there. I think I wouldn't be surprised if the first woman we just watched, if that was her problem too. And by problem, I'm referring to mentioning the fact that you're living your best life. Living your best life. There's no urgency. You chilling. Everything's good. And ultimately, you're not prioritizing your responsibilities and your basic necessities. And that even looks like knowing that you can't pay your bills and you're still just doing the same thing that you know isn't working. And by same thing, that might mean working one job. If you decide to be out here alone and be living alone and doing life alone, then that may come with the possibility that you may have to work multiple jobs. And a lot of people aren't accepting that, especially from what I'm seeing women. They still want to work the regular 40 hours a week. As men, we understand we might have to work 3 jobs and still find time to go to the gym, whatever. But that may be the reality. As well as you're going to have to make concessions about certain things that you might think that you need that you don't. And you're going to have to cut certain things out and just be grateful for getting stronger, getting smarter, getting wiser, and becoming more spiritually grounded. And a lot of people don't want to do that. And again, especially some of the ladies, because y'all are the biggest consumers. But yet, we can sometimes see these situations where it comes out that you're not paying your bills, but you're consuming though. So it's got to be addressed. And ultimately, I would love if we could just, because she had her Cash App and all her donation links and things of that nature in there. You probably couldn't see it. But so that's basically what she's asking. She's asking for people to go ahead and just bail her out of the situation. But then I want to see transparency. I want to see how have you been living? And I'm not gonna demonize you for that. But then I also want a commitment as far as how you're gonna start living moving forward. And by transparency, I mean I want to see your bank statements. I want to see all the stuff you've been spending your money on. And I bet you I could find a lot of opportunities where you could have avoided this situation altogether. But y'all, before we get back into it, if you could like the video, I greatly appreciate it. Only takes a second, and it actually helps out more than you know. And also if you could hype as well. But definitely if you could like, it's only a click. Literally just a click.
I'm living my best life, having a good old day. I decide to check my email. In the email, it says evacuate the building because there's a fire. What do you mean fire? I didn't hear anything at all. Already, I would have been dead because me and Brody are just chilling. Whole time there's a fire on the 23rd floor. I'm on the 14th floor. Already red flags. And you're sending it through email? That's weird. Mind you, they didn't come door to door for the fire, but they came door to door to check if anybody had water damage. And there indeed was some water damage. So I let them know. I'm like 2 days later, and they put fans in my apartment to air it out. So mind you, now this is 2 weeks. 2 weeks of them coming in my apartment, checking to make sure that the water is drying up. They remove the fans and they have only a humidifier in. I'm thinking, okay, they remove the fans, then everything is getting better. Now this brings me to Thursday the 24th. I come back in from running my errands to see on the back of my door a paper stating that I have to move out. I'm thinking I'm just gonna be moving out to another location for renovations. I go downstairs, I'm like, hey, what's going on? And she said, oh no, your lease has been terminated. Terminated? Literally have never heard of an apartment terminating your lease for water damage. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I'm supposed to be moving out in 1 week. They gave me 1 week notice to move my stuff out with no accommodations set up. I pay my bills.
That's insane.
And my bills are paid. She said, well, the least we can do for you is we'll let you know when the renovations are done and you'll be the first person to know about the apartment before it goes back on the market. I'm looking at her like, where is my money? Ain't no coming back, babes. Called around. I even called corporate. Corporate didn't even get back to me. Scammers on the corporate level. If they were a company that actually cared about their tenants, they would put them in accommodations until the tenants find an apartment or somewhere to live. Now you're literally forcing us to basically go somewhere or be homeless is practically insane.
Yeah,
and I don't feel like that's fair. I said, are y'all going to compensate? You know what they said to me? What we can do is give you your deposit back, which deposit was only $400.
Oh, no.
And we're going to give you August rent from when the incident occurred.
Nah.
You're telling me my money has to pay for me moving when I didn't even want to move? Make it make sense. Thank God I had family. What about the other folks?
Nah, that wouldn't work for me. Nah, you got a case. You just got to see it all the way through. If you let them do you like that, then they will.
I'm sitting here doing schoolwork, and I just thought about the fact that I really just bought a house, and I don't have a job. I'm just a notary with no clients. Book an appointment, please. I'm sitting here doing schoolwork, and I just thought about the fact that I really just bought a house.
Bought a house with no job.
But that's the, but as far as what I'm doing is the eviction. I don't have anything to do with the bankruptcy. Here's where the bankruptcy has been lifted. That's what this is. Like when
they tried to file a bankruptcy so that they could avoid the eviction. Boy, people really be trying it. If you don't know, when it comes to trying to file bankruptcy, especially if you're trying to preserve an asset or just really preserve your own shelter so you don't end up on the streets, or maybe your vehicle, whatever, a lot of times it comes down to time, meaning that the timing is everything. And when you file, and I highly doubt that they consulted with a bankruptcy attorney to make sure that they timed it right. And it looks like this brother still showed up to execute that writ of eviction. So I'm guessing they mistimed it, and they're going to get a bankruptcy on their record for nothing. They're going to get an eviction on their record. And you really about to end up on the streets right now. Because if he's here, that means your stuff is going out right now. Right now.
The bankruptcy, here's where the bankruptcy has been lifted.
It's been lifted.
That's what this is. Like when you file bankruptcy, you get what's called a stay. And the stay is what stops anything like a repossession or bankruptcy and that type of thing. But then once the stay is lifted, this is issued from the court. So this is what goes. And so if you have a problem with this, it's not with me, it's with the court, it's with these folks. You have to go in there and talk to the judge and say, Judge, you did this wrong because I talked to my attorney and maybe the judge is wrong.
They don't got no attorney.
But you see what I'm saying? But it's not me to decide the judge is wrong. I got to do what the judge is saying. It's for you to go out there with your attorney and explain to them, what happened.
And you ain't said nothing. I could have been packed up. Can I at least get my daughter up, put some clothes?
Well, here's what I got to do. I have to come in and start taking my pictures. I can give you like five minutes or so. And what you want to do?
I highly doubt they have an attorney. I'm not going to lie. A lot of the ladies, they know how to file in these courts. Man, do they know how to file in these courts. It's kind of incredible when you think about it. When it comes to filling out the administrative paperwork for court, they're wizards when it comes to that. So they know how to file something, for sure. But then sometimes the follow through and the knowing what you're doing when you actually get in front of the judge, now that's when it goes left. And so I believe, allegedly, she probably figured out how to file bankruptcy on her own. But she probably didn't know all the follow-up that was required in order to fully execute and ultimately get it across the line. And so he said that the stay was lifted, and it looks like the landlord was still able to get a writ of eviction. And especially, being able to file something will work when you're going on an individual by individual basis. But when you're going up against actual responsible people who actually have been so productive to the point to where they've actually been able to do certain things extracurricular, i.e. start a business, i.e. buy properties that they then rent out as a form of business as well, and a form of passive income as well. They get attorneys. So, it's one thing you file something on your baby daddy. Oh yeah, you can get that across the line. But you're going up against other people who they're just going to make sure they get an attorney, and they're going to make sure that they do everything right in order to counteract whatever you do. And so that's when things start to get left.
Packed up. Can I at least get my daughter up, put some clothes?
Well, here's what I got to do. I have to come in and start taking my pictures. I can give you like five minutes or so. And what you want to do? Y'all got any weapons, anything like that in here?
No.
They evicted?
Yeah.
Who was that?
Gave us nothing.
Whoa. Who was you? Wait a second. Whoa. Hold up, wait a minute. Whoa, brother. What is you doing here? Because these are business hours right now. I was going to let it slide. I wasn't going to say nothing to the fact that she wasn't doing nothing during the day. But yet you got this eviction on your record to the point that where you filed bankruptcy. So you're not being productive. Because if you were getting evicted already, that meant that you weren't paying your rent, allegedly, in most cases. And then you tried to stall things further, allegedly, and file bankruptcy. But then you still don't have no urgency of trying to work and make some money so that you can ultimately pay what you owe. And now what we done discovered is this SOB right here with no shirt on. Is during the day, you can see the sunlight coming through as soon as he opened the door. And this dude got no shirt on. He was laying up in the bed with her, watching daytime TV. So it's two of y'all. So you have to explain now why two of y'all can't pay your responsibilities, pay your bills to make sure this doesn't happen. And I think we just found out our reason. It's just because you're lazy. And she don't want to go to work, and you got a man living up under this roof that clearly don't want to go to work, allegedly. And from what it appears.
This and so, and what you want to do? Y'all got any weapons, anything like that in here?
No.
They evicted?
Yeah.
And nobody gave us nothing. Well, this side works.
And my attorney, they lifted the bankruptcy off the whatchamacallit, and my attorney ain't said nothing to me about it.
I'm gonna say that they ain't even put nothing on the door. Well, this is how this works.
He said they ain't put nothing on the door.
Here. You get filed on, you go to court. Then obviously somewhere between being filed on, you file bankruptcy.
Mm-hmm.
So then it came into bankruptcy. Bankruptcy is going to stop it. But then the stay got lifted. So that means eviction. You ain't got to get no new notice or anything. It was already in place. It just got stopped because of the bankruptcy.
Oh.
I don't know if he got that. I ain't even.
That's how you know it's egregious. So allegedly, they had already lost the case, had already lost the eviction case. The most common form is where people will try to file an appeal. But see, the thing about an appeal is that you still have to pay the prorated rent moving forward since you already lost the case. So any rent you would have owed moving forward, not including the balance that you were already delinquent in, you would actually have to make sure that you pay that up and you put it in escrow. So when they beat you on the appeal, they at least get that rent they would have missed out on moving forward. So basically, in an appeal, you still have to pay something in a lot of cases. So what it looks like they went and did is they tried to file bankruptcy after they had already lost in order to try to stall things further and so that they can get a stay. And it looks like that didn't hold up for very long, or especially as long as they were expecting it to. So their stall tactics didn't work. And I'm going to be honest, this is kind of karmic, if you ask me, because it seems like y'all were being malicious with how you were using the courts and manipulating the courts in order to ultimately buy yourself more time, but at the same time, just basically screw the landlord, because the longer you all keep buying time, the longer he still has this property sitting up, not making any money.
New knows anything was already in place. It just got stopped because of the bankruptcy. But then
I don't know if he got that. I ain't even got that. He said nothing.
Well,
I paid my rent and everything.
What you mean you paid your rent?
Go get your receipt.
Well, that's not gonna do me no good, as you see. But that's something you gotta take up. What I would advise is one or two things. I would contact my attorney because he should know this. He knows. He may, because I do this for a living. And when the stay is lifted, he gets notified.
What day was the stay lifted? Does it say what date or when the judge was?
It don't matter, ma'am. It don't matter.
You putting this out today?
Right now.
Oh yeah, right now. Not today, but today.
Now the writ is this writ right here. Was issued July 11th. And so the stay was probably right before the, let's see, this stay.
Congratulations, you tried it. And by tried it, you played a stupid game and you won a stupid prize. Because I'm going to be honest, I try to look at some of these things from the standpoint if I was in that position. And if I was in that position and I had this property and these people hadn't been paying me my money, and then now they trying to stall in the court. And then when I'd have seen that and then when I finally won the case, and then I seen that they done put a bankruptcy thing to be able to stay, man, do you know what type of thoughts would be going in my mind? I would be in a very dark place. And that wouldn't be good for nobody. And so I look at it from the standpoint as if it was me, and I'd be pissed. And so now you have karmic retribution that just came down. And by karmic retribution, this is what I mean. Now you're getting put out, and clearly you didn't expect it. I really believe them that they didn't expect it because they probably haven't been handling their business. They probably just filed a bankruptcy and they thought it was over, and they probably wasn't going to continue to pay the attorney to do all the follow-up. So if you're not continuing to pay him, he probably didn't feel entitled to continue to keep you updated on things. So what I mean by karmic retribution is now good luck, because you played a stupid game and you won a stupid prize. So now good luck trying to find another property with an eviction on your record and a bankruptcy on your record. Ain't that something? They got an eviction on their record and a bankruptcy on their record, as well as this is a third little bonus one. But see, I wouldn't be surprised if that brother don't got no W-2 history in a long time. So you also probably don't even have any income to be able to show to go and secure another location. So what you gonna do? Well, what I recommend is that man figure something out. But I don't think he's gonna be able to figure something out because I don't have much faith in a man who during the day, for one, doesn't even know that he's about to get evicted, but then two, during broad daylight, don't got no shirt on and he's laying up in the bed with his chick. And she respects that and allows that.
Evicted, so I went shopping. I'm not like actually being evicted, but the girl I'm subletting from is coming back in 2 weeks.
I'm getting evicted, so I went shopping. Let me read this description. I'm getting evicted, sorta. Stay tuned for all the moving content. Had to make a haul of everything I got, of course. So she's getting evicted, so she thought that was an indication that she needed to go shopping. This is why sometimes I don't feel bad.
Weeks instead of 4 months, so I decided to go shopping to make myself feel better about it. Also, I'm not homeless, I have somewhere else to stay now, so we all good. It's no stress. We're gonna start with glass. So first things first, I got
but long term, you still have that eviction on your record.
this brown off the shoulder sort of knit. The color is called Fudge Fantasy. Why don't they now have names on it? Okay, well, they don't have names on it, but that's fine. It's really cute, off the shoulder, sort of stripe, it's called.
Oh, she's just about to try on her outfits.
Me and my 6 kids are homeless now because of who you voted for.
Now, the caption says Section 8 housing changes may cause a homeless surge in America due to people refusing to work.
6 kids are homeless now because of who you voted for.
Now, I voted for Donald Trump. I surely did. But if he caused you and your 6 kids to be homeless, I might have made the wrong choice. Where's those babies' daddies anyway?
If you have been on Section 8 for more than 2 years, he is giving you 30 days to get the fuck out.
Yeah, I heard about those changes. They're now making you get a job if you're able-bodied. But did you know that you'll still qualify if you're low enough income? But they kicked 275,000 undocumented off that Section 8 housing. I mean, that's fucking unfair, don't you think? And did you know that if you was a low income and qualified for Section 8, that you could take that and pay on a mortgage? That same voucher, they have a loan called NACA. And there was plenty of people that was totally getting their 15-year mortgage paid for by the U.S. government based on Section 8 housing. So it's real.
Me and my...
I had been hearing about that where people will try to do some type of program and they'll be like, I'm going to get my house. And they'll really say my house. And so that must be what he's referring to. Subsidizing to pay a house off, that's next level. Especially if you actually get to keep it. But I don't know if that's what will happen. I don't know. I'd have to do more digging as far as the technicalities and the literature around that. But let's just address what she said about whatever external situation is causing her and, did she say 6 kids to be homeless? You had no cause in that, huh? Because the one thing that you said already lets us know why. If you're telling me that you're a single mother of 6 kids. So nobody caused you to do that. Because I would argue if it was just you and that was all you had to be responsible for, then for one, you'd figure it out. As well as for two, nobody would care if you don't. Because if you can't, then that's a you problem. That means that in some way you're not doing what it takes. But I hate when people try to create these impossible situations. They create impossible situations for their own life. And then they act like it's somebody else's responsibility when they ultimately can't bear the shoulders of what they've chosen to take on. And listen, slip up have 1, 2. when we get to really 3, but we're talking about 6, you're not going to tell me 6 kids wasn't a clear and thought out decision. You decided to have 6 kids, right? We understand how decisions work. If I decide to go to school, then I decided to have student loans that I'm going to have to pay back. If I decide to go and carjack somebody, then I decided to go to prison for however long I get prosecuted. Ma'am, you decided to have 6 kids. You've been here, done that. You know how it works. You know how this goes. So at that point, how can you then try to blame somebody else outside of your own self?
Well, I just got evicted from my apartment because I couldn't afford it. You want to know why I couldn't afford it? Because I make fucking minimum wage in Iowa, which is $7.25. I don't know a single person who could live off the minimum wage of $7.25. And you want to know the real kicker? I have 2 degrees, a bachelor's and a master's degree in psychology. The real problem is the lawmakers in Iowa haven't changed the $7.25 minimum wage in over 3 years. What do they expect us to do at this point? My rent is $1,800 a month. How am I ever supposed to afford that making minimum wage? Obviously, I need to get a better job, so if you know of any, drop them down in the comments because I am so tired of this. Well, I just...
You know what's funny? I kind of want to take a quick peek in the comments too. But you know what's funny? She said she got 2 degrees. You got 2 degrees, and the best you could come up with your level of resourcefulness was a $7.25 job. And you got 2 degrees. Ain't that something? She has 2 degrees. And the best that she can come up with is a minimum wage job. Ma'am, that's a you problem. And this is the problem that I often talk about and that I often see. And what I'm referring to, what I often see is y'all be having degrees. You got 2 of them. And it doesn't necessarily equate to you actually being smarter, to you actually being better ultimately. Because you listen, you talking about you got 2 degrees, you were able to take the initiative to do something somewhat rare and get 2 degrees, but you couldn't take the initiative and just find a rare job that makes better than $7.25 in minimum wage. I mean, all you need is one. I understand we could say it's a bad job economy, whatever, but all you need is one. And you can't solve that problem. Shouldn't a degree mean that you don't need to have your hand held and that you can actually solve problems for yourself and you don't have to come online and get other people to just give you a job just because you got 2 degrees? Shouldn't that actually mean that you're somewhat capable and able to actually do things on your own to ultimately get an outcome? If you can't get a better outcome than that for your own life, if I was a job, if I was an employer, I would definitely not think that you can get any type of outcome for my company. So this is the thing. At what point are you just gonna listen? You got 2 degrees. I'd have just if I'd have went and got 2 degrees already. If these 2 degrees only equal up to a minimum wage job, I'd have just went and got a trade or something. Shoot, you already done went and got 2 of them. You might as well try something different. Don't go and get a 3rd one. Because you see, 2 didn't help you. Did she think that because she has 2 degrees, that was automatically going to put her above people with 1 degree? Did she think that was how the math worked? Did she think that was how the job acquisition math worked? Well, you're in for a rude awakening, and that really shows the lack of common sense. The only thing you just showed with 2 degrees is you wasted double the time and ultimately probably got double the debt.
All right, so look, let me tell you the truth that don't nobody want to say out loud. American citizens are being priced out of existence, and more people have stopped paying bills than they want to admit. Now, I'm not talking about just a few people slipping through the cracks. I'm saying that the cracks have widened so big that whole communities are slipping through them. And this isn't about laziness. This is not a problem of bad budgeting. Well, sometimes it's bad budgeting, but you get what I'm saying. The problem is beyond budgeting. What it's really about is an economy that has been stretched past its breaking point. The cost of survival has been raised higher than human beings can reach. Think about your own life. You go to work, you get paid, rent takes the whole check before you get your next breath out. Just instantly, boom, gone. You walk into the grocery store with money in your pocket, and then you walk out the grocery store with 2 little ass bags that barely last a week. Maybe a couple days if you're lucky. You stand at the gas pump and you watch the numbers spin and rise faster than your paycheck ever will. You go to the mailbox and it's nothing but more demand, more bills, and more weight you can't carry. And this cycle repeats itself day after day, month after month, year after year. And people are tired. Not just physically tired, people are burned out. We are, after all, living in a global burnout crisis. People are drained in the body. People are drained in the mind. People are drained in the...
A lot of people are just giving up. A lot of people are just giving up. You can't give up. You can't give up. Everything that you experience in life, if you really think about it, at least after the fact, in retrospect, you understand that it was experience and it was training into just making you a better person, a stronger person. I think that a lot of people who might have suffered during the '08 housing crisis, I bet you after that, because we all know now in retrospect that things went right back to normal after that. And things were thriving better than ever after that crisis. But imagine the people who went through it and had to really endure that and really got that new frame of reference of really just struggling and trying to be resourceful with what they had and just try to survive through that period. And remember, whenever you're in a period, it's just like this. You don't know when it's going to end and you just start acting like it's going to be forever and this is the new economy. But again, in retrospect, we know that that really wasn't the case, right? But what it does is it should make you stronger, especially if you're somebody who actually is able to really survive and find a way to still thrive even through that adversity. If you can thrive through a bad economy, then you can absolutely kill it in a great economy. And what would it take to thrive in this economy? It's going to take initiative. It's going to take resourcefulness. It's going to take being able to cut back and actually understand what's important. It's going to take possibly having to stretch your capacity and work more, do more, maybe work 2 jobs, maybe work 3 jobs. Maybe during this period, what you found out is that you thought you was going to be single and independent, and now you understand that you need a man. And so maybe that's something that you'll build, that you'll be able to carry with you for the rest of life, and you can get a relationship. Maybe you're already in a relationship. And maybe when you was in that relationship when things was good, maybe you wasn't appreciating it. And maybe you was like, man, I want to get back out here or whatever. And then when everything started happening and we started seeing really how bad this economy is and we start seeing the examples of people who wish they were in your shoes, maybe you started clutching your pearls and you said, I love this person, but I don't want to take that chance. I don't want to be out here. I don't want to be under a bridge talking like some of these people getting evicted, like the first lady who was crying. Listen, whatever that looks like, this is going to stretch you, but ultimately this is going to build you. And then when we come out on the other side, and we see that light at the end of the tunnel, you'll ultimately be a better person for it after the fact. You'll be a better man. You'll be a better woman. And so sometimes you got to look at it like that. You got to look at it like this is your training arc. You're training right now. This is training you. This is building you. This is conditioning you. And ultimately, this is fortifying you to move forward. But things will get better. They always do. The economy is cyclical. You have to look at history. You have to study history. And then what you'll find is there's really nothing new under the sun. And we're going through things that other people have gone through throughout time. Sure, AI automation is going to change things up. Sure. But things have been changed up many times. In the industrial age, everything. There's been many times like this in the economy. Even when computers and the internet came. It's very cyclical. You got to study history. You got to understand that there's nothing new under the sun. We're adaptable. We always figure it out. We always will. But if you allow yourself to stress, excuse me, and you got people like this, fear mongering you, then you're not going to really be as attentive in the moment to be able to take away the lessons. And again, just keep trying. If you're trying right now, if you're trying everything you can, and my definition of trying means being effective ultimately. So that means when you see something's just not working, go ahead and drop it as fast as possible, move on to something else. And try a lot of things, because you might find something that really works and that you can continue to keep on your utility belt and take with you moving forward. But if you just freeze in place, then you're going to miss a lot of the training and lessons that you could have gained through this period and through this experience ultimately. So we'll leave it there for today. If you could like the video, I greatly appreciate it. Only takes a second and it actually helps out more than you know. And also, if you could hype the video. Hype is a new feature that YouTube offers where it helps smaller content creators like myself. And basically, when you hype, it actually pushes us to the extent that it pushes the larger content creators. So you just press the hype button and it shows the points. And since I am a smaller creator, a smaller channel, we actually get more points per hype. And hype was designed for smaller channels. So that's why. But if you come across a video and you don't see the hype button, then it's probably been over 7 days. And hype usually vanishes after 7 days. So for that reason, it's usually best practice if you want to hype, to just go ahead and hype while the iron is hot on a newer video, if that's what you want to do again. And also, if you want to become a member of the channel, join buttons on the video. And what becoming a member of the DXU family will come with is you would get badges next to your comments, where it'll show people that you are a member whenever you leave a comment, as well as you would get early access to content. And you would also even get exclusive content that is not available for everyone else on YouTube. So again, if you want to become a member, the join button is on the video. But until then, I'll see you in the next video.